see my son and go visit my parents real quick and my friends. But anyways, yep, 24th anniversary. Okay, somebody got one of them right. They said Welcome Burden was one of the B-sides. And somebody got the other one, God of the Mind. So you guys are good. Those are true, old school, Disturbed ones. Disturbed fans that know the deep catalog. Wrote those songs in the late 90s. Signed our record deal to Giant Records, who was part of the Warner Brothers umbrella back in 1999. Recorded that album in Chicago and released it on March 7th, 2000. And since you figured that trivia out really quick on the two B-sides that were left off, the next trivia I'll give you is, who knows what was the first tour, like a real tour, that we went on, that Disturbed went on, the first tour. We did a couple shows before we did a real tour.
So I'll save that trivia question next, but right now,
what was our first big tour where we were actually out for quite some time? We took it to Canada and the U.S. And do you know who that? No, we weren't the headliners. I was asking. Our first real one.
No, it wasn't Ozfest 2000. That did come later. I'm talking about the early part of the year of 2000. So our first summer tour was Ozfest 2000. That was our first big festival tour. No, it wasn't STP.
Somebody saying that came in the fall. It wasn't Music as a Weapon. We were the opening band. Let's see, I'm scrolling back to see if somebody got it already. We were the opening band of 4 bands total. And I'll give you a clue if nobody gets this quick.
I thought you guys would figure this one out. Okay. Here's a clue I'll give you, because nobody's got it yet. They keep saying Ozfest or STP or headlining, but it wasn't that yet. It was us going out to support a 4-band bill. We were kind of the oddballs on the bill because we were this new band. I'll give you a clue. 2 of the bands were really heavier. The headliner, old school, darker band. And the clue is the singer, there's a video of him on YouTube getting knocked out backstage, got in a fight with somebody, not during our tour, but in another tour. I don't know what it was, but old school singer, and got in a little scuffle backstage and got knocked the fuck out, and somebody got it right. The Happy Mama Project, you're right, it was Glenn Danzig. So, yep, Danzig was the first tour that we went on in the early part of 2000. The first artist to take us out on a proper tour. And we were driving around in an RV, driving ourselves. We didn't have a crew. We didn't have a driver. We were just pulling a trailer, selling our own merch out of the trailer. We were setting our equipment every day. We brought, I take that back, we had two guys, I think, that we brought out. One that worked at the Metro, the Cabaret Metro in Chicago. His name was Tex. He went by Tex because he was from Texas originally. And we just grabbed him because he was willing to come out on the road, and we needed somebody to help push cases around. And then our other one, we had a sound guy, we had Abe from Chicago that we grabbed. Didn't really know him. Somebody just said he was willing to come out on the road and jump in an RV. And then our good buddy Neil Gustafson, who runs sound for House of Blues in Chicago, was one of our first sound guys. So those first tours, we were setting up our own equipment, we would play our show, and then we would break down when we're done playing. So that Danzig tour was quite interesting,
but it was fun and a learning experience. We were definitely the oddballs on the bill, being this new band pushing our new single at the time, Stupefy, at radio, trying to get some exposure and radio play. And we opened up, then it was Hatebreed and 6 Feet Under were the other two bands, support acts, and then Danzig as the headliner. And that was us, our introduction to U.S. touring. I think our very first show was Cedar Rapids, Iowa, I believe. And like I said, then we took it around the country. We took it up into Canada. And a lot of fun. Hit it off really good with the other bands, especially Jamie and the Hatebreed guys. Love those guys. Good time. And that eventually led to our invitation to come play Ozfest 2000 when we were contacted by Sharon Osbourne if we would want to play in the parking lot stage of Ozfest 2000. And we gladly accepted, and that kicked open the door for us. Big opportunity to launch our career. Even though we were playing at like 10 in the morning. The first Ozfest in West Palm Beach, Florida. And we were the first band to start the morning. But yeah, anyways. So for those of you just getting on now, I was just going live just to say it's just making my rounds, going to get my dad, doing breakfast today, try to see my family and friends because I only have a few days left before we leave for New Zealand. So what other trivia do we have here? Maybe I'll ask you one more sickness related trivia. Is, since it's the anniversary, is who can name the director that we shot our first real music video with for the single Stupefy. He did a lot of videos back in, especially in the early 2000s, out in California. Did a lot of good music videos, worked with some great artists. And does anybody know that? If you're into music videos and directors. So back then he had some blonde dreadlocks. He was tight with the guys from Korn and Linkin Park, and I know he did a couple Linkin Park videos. I think he did Cold Chamber, a lot of the new metal bands that were coming out at that time. Yes, somebody's got his first name right. Nathan. You're right about that. Nathan was his first name. Okay, Happy Mama Project again, Nathan Cox. Okay, you must be like Googling this stuff right away. On the Googles. So, alright, I'm almost to my dad's. Time to feed the old man. Hope you guys have a great day. It was great. What would we do? Omaha. We have one makeup show in Des Moines coming up in May. That was the only one we had to cancel early on in the tour. David had allergies and some just got sick early on at the start of the tour, but that's the only one we had to reschedule. So we are coming back to Des Moines in May. That's it. So another reminder, today is the 24th anniversary. That's right, 24 years of The Sickness. It came out March 7th in 2000. It's crazy. Blows me away that it's been that long. I was just talking to my dad about it, on how the time flies for us. Wishing we were 24 years younger now than I look back at it. But what an amazing time for us. I remember making that album here in Chicago with our producer Johnny K, longtime buddy. Grew up in the neighborhood with him, and he was kind of that local producer guy doing demos for a lot of bands out here, and ended up making the album with him after we signed our deal. So I did a little trivia earlier this morning. I'll throw another one at you. Let's see, what can I come up with regarding the Sickness days. Okay, this should be a little bit easier for the die-hard Disturbed ones that might know some of the knowledge and facts behind in the history of the band. But what was the first song we wrote as a band? The very first day that David came to audition for us was in August of 1996. And the very first day when we were trying out singers, we were having some difficulty going through that painful process of every karaoke singer who thinks they could become a singer. But the first day David came in, and he said, obviously when we're auditioning people, we had to play something to hear them sing. So it's usually 99.9% of the time you're playing a cover song just to hear the singer sing. David was the only one that came in and said, fuck that, just play one of your original ideas. And I started playing a riff. He listened for a little bit, started improvising a melody, and although it evolved and changed and developed over time, what is the song? And immediately somebody has the right answer. Sherry, you got it right. A lot of you have it right. So the song, Logan, you got it right. Here it comes. Are you ready for it? The song is Want. That made it onto the first album, onto The Sickness. So it's the very first song we wrote within minutes of getting together with David in 96. Walked into the room. He said, play some originals. I play a riff. The riff changed eventually over time, but that first moment of improvising together, he just kind of scattered out a melody over the top of my riff, and it ended up being the song Want. So that's some digging deep, day one Disturbed trivia. And playing, I'm trying to think of a little bit more trivia. There's two songs on the album, on The Sickness, that you could probably guess, at least one of them, easily. I was hearing, we were warming up at band practice. We get in there, and Mike was warming up on drums and started just hitting around on the toms and loosening up, and he's just started playing a beat. And what do you think that beat turned into? It was just warming up, really, and he started playing something, and then when I heard it, I'm like, why don't you just keep looping that part for a minute, and I'm just going to improvise a riff over the beat that was there. And this is too easy of one, so I don't expect it taking long for you guys to figure what that is. But it was kind of a nice accidental mistake. Well, not a mistake, just a surprise, I should say. And yes, it was Down with the Sickness. It was just a warm-up moment, getting in on our instruments, plugging in. We're all kind of banging around, making noise, and he just started playing a beat on the toms. And I just said, keep playing that. Just loop that part. And then I started just working on the riff. And then eventually when we played it for David, what we were working on, and we had that little pause, that little hesitation in the start of it, that's when the old waka kaka came out. And that was kind of an animalistic reaction to this tribal beat, the signature beat of Down with the Sickness, that just kind of came out organically, almost kind of like a little Steven Tyler scat moment that was quite surprising and caught us kind of all off guard, and how the song just started to evolve and turn into that. So that was one thing. And then there was another drum beat that comes to mind on The Sickness that Mike was playing during warm-up, and I'll tell you the beat, and I'll tell you, and you got to try to guess what drummer kind of inspired the beat. So, from the song Dropping Plates, when for those of you that are drummers or musical enough who understand the part I'm talking about,